Today, I'm finally going to play The Clash's London Calling. Now, this is actually my third attempt at doing this, so obviously I've already played it, I've already unwrapped it, and I did enjoy it both times I played it. So, released in 1979, it's probably one of the greatest punk albums of all time, if not the after Nevermind the Bollocks is the Sex Pistols. It's more post-punk. This album, the last time I played it, had every genre on it that I could think of pretty much. From R&B to bluegrass to new wave to punk, reggae, ska and dub, to mention a few. So, it's an absolutely fantastic album. Like I said, first time I tried to do it, I cocked up with the editing. Tried to do it when I was pissed. Really, really crap idea. So yeah, this is the third studio album by The Clash. Shall we give it a play? Absolutely love this cover. The photograph was by Penny Smith. And I do believe there was a little bit, they didn't really like it at first because obviously it's out of focus, but I actually think it's perfect. And they've also used this, you know that Elvis album, one of his early albums, maybe even his first, I'm not sure, but it had this pink and then this green. Really love this cover. And inside, yeah, this is disc one, because obviously it's a double album. You've got this wonderful artwork with all the lyrics all written on, some nice photographs. So, time to put it on. Still need to get that matte, though. There is a bit of dust on them. I was supposed to get it last week and I completely forgot while I was out. Maybe tomorrow. So, let's do this. London Calling. That sounded fantastic. Again, I think London Calling is one of them albums, every time you play it, it just gets better and better. I think I enjoyed that more than the first time I played it when I first unwrapped it. Anyway, so London Calling. Right, the song was written by Joe Strummer and Mick Jones, and it alludes to BBC World Service. During World War II, they would, in occupied countries, put out a radio signal saying, "This is London calling, this is London calling." So I think that's where they got the title for. That's what the reference is anyway, I think. Brilliant song. And the music video was recorded or videoed by Don Letts. And I'm going to meet him this year. He's at the House of Fun Weekender, the Madness one at the end of the year. So I would like to shake his hand because that is one cool music video. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but the lyric "Phony Beatlemania" never really sat right with me. So I had a little look into it, and apparently it wasn't nothing to do with the Fab Four, you know, the Beatles that we all love. It was to do with a stage show that was playing late 70s, and it was called Beatlemania. And obviously it wasn't John, Paul, George and Ringo playing the Beatles, it was whoever. And I think it was directed at that. I did a little search and I found that and I thought, ooh, because that lyric never really sat right with me. But anyway, but it's a fantastic opening song to a classic album. Next up is Brand New Cadillac. Now, Brand New Cadillac is a 1959 song by Vince Taylor and was originally released as a B-side. The opening rockabilly riffs really remind me of Party Party. That, I don't know if you've ever seen the film. Daniel Peacock, Jacko out of Brushstrokes. There was a load of faces in it, I can't remember their names now. But it's got a brilliant soundtrack. It's funny as you like. If you're into that, I mean, it's very of the 80s, and you know, you got Midura on the soundtrack, Madness, Bananarama, Bad Manners, Chaz and Dave, Elvis Costello and the Attractions, and The Clash, and that bomb 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 bomb. I mean, this rockabilly, isn't it? That's not punk, that's rockabilly. I mean, this touches on so many genres. When you play it back, you don't realise this. Terrific stuff. Then next up is Jimmy Jazz. This sounds nothing like the previous two songs at all. This jazz blues song reflects the line, "I feel like a soldier but look like a thief," as the band attempt to maintain their punk ideals while appropriating other genres into their musical styles. Well, I said that, you know. This album just tastes so many other bits and bobs, but, you know, really good song. Love it. Next up is Hateful, and Hateful is about drugs. How drugs are lovely and they keep you away from the lonely and the hateful. Great song. Then, Rudie Can't Fail. This reggae-influenced song revolves around Rudie. He was part of the Rude Boys in 1960s Jamaican subculture that became popular in the United Kingdom in the late 70s. Another brilliant song. Right, then comes Spanish Bombs. Now, this is a great song and it deals with the Spanish Civil War which devastated Spain between 1936 and 1939. Although the song talks about Spanish Civil War, it's actually about modern day, 70s, compared to how it was 40 years prior. Another brilliant song, Spanish Bombs. It just rocks. Right, next up is The Right Profile, and this is about the American actor Montgomery Clift. And I do believe at Wessex, Guy Stevens, I think he produced this album or something, he had a book in his pocket, Montgomery Clift, and he said to Strummer, "You want to write a song about him?" So he showed him the book, and here we are. Montgomery Clift was apparently quite a character in his day. Next up is one of my favourite songs on the Clash's London Calling, and that is Lost in a Supermarket. This was first conceived and written in an actual supermarket under a block of flats that Strummer and his girl Gabby Salter lived in at the time. I love the lyrics. "I wasn't born so much as I fell out." I mean, excellent, brilliant song. Then next up comes Clampdown. Strummer claimed that the nuclear incident that happened at the 3 Mile Island got him started on this song. Next up is the Guns of Brixton. Now this is dub reggae. I don't care what you think. Brixton was the site of race riots in 1981 and 1985, I think. And I think this song depicts the feeling of the people prior to the riots. Then Death or Glory. This is another one that reminds me of that film, Party. You need to check it out. Source it, people. Party, 1983, I think. It's funny, if you get it anyway. But this is another great song, Death or Glory. This song is about the Clash's frontman, Joe Strummer, looking back on his life and acknowledging the complications of adulthood, I guess. Anthem. Brilliant song. Alright, next up is Coka Kola. I certainly don't think it's about the ice cold Coke drink, do you? I think it's about another sort of Coke. Not sure. The last song on side 3 is Card Cheat. And while working on Card Cheat, the whole band recorded their bit twice to give it that really big sound. And Card Cheat does sound fat. Great song. Then comes Four Horsemen. Now, this song was only ever performed live once at the Ross Rock Festival in August 1979. Another great song. Then comes I'm Not Down. Now, this song was mostly written by guitarist Mick Jones, and it was autobiographical for the most part. Jones having a tough time in life at 1978. I think he had his flat burgled and a load of his stuff went missing, and then just after that he split up with the Slits lead singer, Viv Albertine. So, I mean, it's kind of defiant, you know, I've been beat up, been knocked down, but I'm not down. Great song though, love it, love it, love it. Right, then comes Revolution Rock. Now, this song was originally recorded by Danny Ray and the Revolutioneers in 1976. Now, Danny Ray sampled Jackie Edwards' Get Up song. So both Danny Ray and Jackie Edwards were credited as the songwriters on this. Brilliant song. And then finally, Train in Vain, the last track on London Calling. And the words Train in Vain are never ever mumbled or mentioned. The predominant lyrics are Stand By Me, and that was the title of the Ben E. King classic Stand By Me, so Train in Vain. According to NME magazine, because this isn't actually track listed on the original LP, isn't on mine, because they was going to release it as a flexi disc, NME, with one of their magazines, but it worked out too expensive, so they scrapped that idea, and they released it on the album, but it wasn't on the cover. So, and I think that Train in Vain is also about Mick Jones's split with Viv Albertine. London Calling is #1 in the Rolling Stone magazine for greatest hits of the 80s. So yeah, brilliant experience with that. Love the London Calling album. It's very iconic, cover and music, and yeah, classic. I guess in that sort of genre, I think I need to be getting myself a couple of Sex Pistols albums. I've got none on vinyl. Don't know if you guys like the Pistols, but I think never mind the bollocks is like this, just classic album. Anyway, he's waffling on. Yeah, so that's about it for today, guys. I was supposed to paint the ceiling now. I don't know if you can see that just above my head. There's a little patch over there. I was going to give this a coat of white today, but I opted for playing London Calling again. Oh, lazy git. Anyway, right. You have yourselves a good week, people, and I'll be back with another ramble real soon.